Welcome back to Cyint DFIR Academy. So in the previous episode, we have discussed about PATA drives or IDE drives and how to connect it with TX1 and TX2. So in this episode, we'll be focusing on SATA as well as micro SATA drives and how to connect it with TX1 and TX2. So let's get started. So in the previous video, we have discussed on how to connect a PATA drive with TX1 and TX2. In this video, we will be discussing on how to connect a SATA drive with TX1 and TX2 respectively. So if you get from a crime scene or in any case you get a SATA drive as an evidence, then how can we connect it with TX1 to properly image or duplicate that particular evidence, right? So the first thing that we have to notice is the identification of SATA drive. So here we can see that there are 15 pins. Now these 15 pins are used for the power connection and the rest 7 pins that is there is for data connection. In order to connect this particular SATA drive with TX1, we will be using this particular cable called unified SATA cable, which comes with TX1, and the official code name of this is TC48R3. Okay, on one end we can see it is a unified SATA cable, and on the other end there is this separate cable, one for data, okay, and the other for the power. All right, now let's come to how to connect this particular evidence or SATA drive with TX1. Okay, now make sure that this particular bulge, it comes near to the gap of that particular connector, and using both your fingers just connect it. Okay, all right, now keep it down slowly and always make sure to connect your particular evidence on the left side, which is right blocked, and it is correctly indicated based on these particular log signs that is there. So this is a helpful way to indicate that this particular side is right blocked and is the side where we connect our evidence in order to avoid any kind of tampering or contamination. All right, now first make sure always that the TX1 is powered off and connect the power. Okay, now take your data cable and then connect it to the data board. So this is how you connect a SATA drive with TX1. So now coming to how to connect the SATA drive with TX2, the complete process remains the same. The only change comes is in the cable. Specifically here, the power cable that comes on the TX2 side is a little bit different compared to the TX1's. All right, this is the only change that comes. So let's come into how to connect this particular drive to TX2. Take the drive carefully with both your fingers, connect it to the evidence likewise. Okay, then place it carefully. There is no hurry and make sure that TX2 is turned off. Connect the power cable first. Okay, then comes to the SATA data cable. All right, so this is how you connect the SATA drive with TX2. Now let's discuss on how to connect a micro SATA with TX1. So now when I say micro SATA, don't get confused with M SATA or normal SATA. So here micro SATAs are basically used for the smaller form factor storage devices like 1.8-inch hard drives and SSDs, which are often used in laptops, netbooks and other space constrained devices. All right. So here I have a particular bridge which converts a SATA to a micro SATA. So let's say you get an evidence that has a micro SATA SSD and you want to connect it with TX1 for duplication. So in that case you will connect your micro SATA evidence to this side, okay, and the other side you can see is a normal SATA port. So in this case we will use the same TC48R3, which is a unified SATA cable, and connect it usually like this. Okay, then once that is connected and the drive is also connected, place it carefully make sure again that TX1 is switched off, and then connect the power cable first, okay, then the data cable. So this is how you connect a micro SATA with the TX1 using this particular bridge. So now let's see how to connect the micro SATA with TX2. Now again the process remains the same, just the cable differs. We will be using TC48R4 where the power cable is different in this case. So again make sure that you take the bridge where the evidence will be connected. Then you will be using this particular cable, unified SATA cable, to connect it to the bridge. Alright. Now we will be using the other end first to connect the power cable to TX2 and then the data cable. So this is how you connect a micro SATA to TX2. So in this video we have discussed how to connect SATA and micro SATA with TX1 and TX2. We have also discussed in detail about the types of adapters and cables that were used for this particular configuration. In the upcoming videos we'll be discussing on how to connect U.2 and M.2 SSDs. So until next time, thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe. Jai Hind.